Okay. Sorry, can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was talking few seconds ago, did you hear me? Did you hear me when I was talking?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you didn't miss anything, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me repeat once again because the host said to me that he didn't hear my voice. Well, you did hear my voice. Okay, so today we will have 3 presenters for our parallel sessions. The first one is Professor Nawamin Prachatna. Sorry if I spell your name wrongly. He is from Buriram University, Thailand. He is one of the vice rector in Buriram University, and he's from English department also. He will speak about 30 minutes, 20 minutes for presentations, and 10 minutes for question and answer sessions. And the second presenters is Panuel Kailuhu and James Hukom. They are from English department. The time for the presentations today is 15 minutes, 10 minutes for presentations, and 5 minutes for question and answer session. And then the last presenter is Nurlaila Tuanani and Febi Pelopesi. They are from EIEF, SCIENCE. And today they will present the paper, and they have 15 minutes time, 10 minutes for presentation, and 5 minutes for question and answer session. So without further delay, now I would like to invite Prof. Nawamin Prachatna. Okay, for today, he will present his paper about English communication strategies employed by the hotel staff members in Buriram province. For Mr. Nawamin, time is yours.
Good evening, right, everyone?
Good evening, sir.
Okay.
Evening, sir.
Nice to see you here, right?
Nice to see you.
On the webinar, right? I just finished my teaching, right? In Thailand, it's about nearly 5 now, right? Nearly 5 now. I'm glad to be here, okay, to be the presenter here, right? About my research work. Okay, wait a minute, right? I will put my... can you see my screen?
No, sir.
Oh, wait a minute, right? I try to look for that, okay? Wait a minute, right, about that.
Your PowerPoint presentation, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want me to share screen from here? Because I have
I
your...
will share, right, by myself. It's okay.
Okay,
Can you see here, right?
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Very clear.
thank you very much. Right. Okay, good good afternoon or good evening again. Okay, or for you attending my presentation, right, entitled English Communication Strategies Employed by the Hotel Staff Members in Buriram Province. Have you ever been to Buriram or to Thailand? Okay, some of you say yes, some of you, okay, maybe next time. Okay, when you take a look for the map of Thailand, you can see with the red one. Okay, this is my city. My city is Buriram province, right? Buriram refer to the city of happiness. Buri is mean city. Ram is mean happiness or happy. So Buriram refer to the city of happiness, right? Okay, for this is for my outline of the presentation. I will talk to you about the background of my study, the purposes of the study, the methodology that I use, the findings, and the conclusion, right? Take a look for this is the hotel related in our presentation, right? Just you can see, okay, there are a lot of 4 or 5-star hotel in Buriram, right? Just you can see Amari and Cresco, close to Hotel de l'Amour or Puri Hotel, something like that. Just why I show you, because our province, okay, is very famous in something. Okay, before that, I would like to tell you about the importance of English. Just you already know that English is promoted as the international business language and the standard workplace language for ASEAN country. So it means that 10 country in ASEAN, okay, bear in mind that we use English for communication. Okay, and then although English is very important, but you know that in Thailand, maybe I think that just similar to Indonesia, right? Context. Okay, Thai people appear to have problems on communication in English. Okay, because we use English as a foreign languages in Thailand, and then English is not the official language in Thailand, right? It's foreign language. So we face the problem about that. Anyway, okay, since 2018 and until this year or maybe next 3-4 years, Buriram province, okay, we organize the MotoGP competition, right? So it's about car racing, motorcycle racing right here. We have the big racing right there in our province. Just why, okay, there are many foreigners coming to join the big events every year, right? For example, last year in before the COVID-19, okay, pandemic, okay, occurred, okay, in October, we have about nearly 200,000 foreigners, okay, coming to visit Buriram. So when they stay here, okay, they have to look for the hotel, and then the hotel, okay, owner have to accommodate those guests who will stay in our province, okay, about at least 3 to 5 days or 10 days. Okay, you know that it's very important if the hotel staff members have the standards or professional method to welcome them, okay, especially to communicate with them, because it can get impression with them, right, when they stay at the hotel, and then they can become the permanent clients and they can stay, okay, in the hotel for the next time, okay. On the other hand, if the hotel staff members communicate approximately, appropriately, okay, with them, the hotel guests may be unsatisfied, okay, and will not return to stay at the hotel. That's why, okay, I want to study about the communication strategies, okay, of the hotel staff, because the communication strategies are the way that the learner needs or used to overcome the problems in order to convey their intended meaning. And then the finding, okay, from this study can be useful as a guideline, okay, for the hotel managers or for the person who relevant to the hotel to welcome, okay, the foreign clients in Buriram province to plan, okay, and prepare their hotel staff member to get ready to be the good host. Because if we are the good host, okay, they will, okay, come back again. That's why, okay, I employed the communication strategy by Dong Ye in 1995, okay, that he classified the communication strategy into 3 types. The first one, okay, we call avoidance or reduction strategy, right? This one is about we can maybe to stop, okay, if they think that they are very difficult for them, right? Or we can change the topic, right? Okay, when we talk and when we don't understand, this is about avoidance. And then the second one, achievement or compensatory strategy. This is about try to use another languages. For example, try to explain more, try to switch by using the dialect, for example, Thai words, something like that. Or maybe if they are in Indonesia, they can use Indonesian language or Melayu, something like that, okay? And then the last one, stalling for time gaining strategy, okay, to look for, okay, the time and try to compensate them, okay? So I use these 3, okay, communication strategy to be as a guideline, okay, to study. Okay, so I set 3 purposes for my study, right? The first one, I would like to investigate the English communication strategy, okay, employed by the hotel staff members in Buriram province. And then the second one, I want to know about their problems, okay, on communication when they communicate with the hotel guests who are the foreigners, who are from all over the world, right? And then the last one, I would like to find out the way to solve the problems of the hotel staff when they communicate with the foreign guests. Okay, 3 questions or purposes that I set. For the methodology, I have divided into 3 or 4 sections. The first one, I'm going to talk about population and samples. And the second one, I will talk about research instrument that I use, and then how to collect the data. And then the last one, how to analyze the data. For the population, right, I focus just only the hotel staffs who work in the 3-star up hotel in Buriram province. Okay, in 2019 or 2019, okay, they are about 1,624. And then I use the table of Cressy and Morgan and simple random sampling techniques to recruit 150 hotel staff to answer the questionnaire right at the research instrument. And then I select purposefully, okay, 20 hotel staff members, okay, for interview. So just from here, okay, I have 2 types of research instrument. The first one, I use questionnaire that I adapted from Nijarades, I think, and then Diogenes, okay, in 2015. And then after that, I use a semi-structured interview to collect the data. For the step of collecting the data, the first one, okay, I send the letter to the hotel and then I collect some data by myself and I ask my ex-student who work in the hotel help me collect the data. I spent about 2 months for data collection. And then at the beginning, I send them the questionnaire, right? In October to December 2019, okay, with a total of 3 months. And then after that, for the questionnaire, I use Thai version, right? Because to avoid the ambiguity and then the misunderstanding of the target groups. And then I use Thai version as well to interview the 20 hotel staff. And then for the interview, okay, I spend about 10 minutes for each interviewing, right? For 20 interviewees here. And then after that, for each interview, I audio tape and then transcribe, okay, and analyze the data according to the theme that I use right here. For the questionnaire, right, you can see that before I use it, I look for the quality, okay, by looking for the alpha coefficient of Cronbach, okay, and I found it's very high. And then I use frequency and percentage to calculate the data from the personal information of the samples. And I use the mean and standard deviation to investigate the use of each of English communication strategy of the hotel staff members. Okay, and then I use content analysis techniques to analyze the data from semi-structured interview. Okay, I interviewed them about 5 questions. From the data analysis, I can show you the results, the findings. Okay, the first one, to achieve the first objective, right, or the first purpose, I would like to see about their English communication strategies. In total, just you can see, when I compare with the criteria, right, they use English for communication. They use English communication strategy at the moderate levels. Okay, the highest one is about achieving or compensatory strategy to compensate them, right? Okay, at the highest, okay, followed by solely for time gaining strategies. And then the last one, okay, they try to avoid or use the reduction strategy, right? For the second purpose, I would like to know about the problems on communication with the foreign guests of the hotel guest member by using English in Buram province. When I interview, okay, 20 hotel staff, they answer me and then I group them, okay, into 4 groups with 28 answer, because some of them answer me more than one. Okay, they found many problems. The problems that they face most is they are unable to understand the different foreign accents, right? Because you know that there are many foreigners, okay, coming to join the MotoGP competition here in Thailand, not just only American or European people, but some people around the world, okay, but they use English and then they don't understand, okay, and then followed by they mentioned that the foreign customers speak very fast, right? And then number three, they cannot catch the words or phrases from the foreign customer, okay? And the last one, okay, because in Thailand we use Thai, okay, they cannot explain in English, although they want to, but they rarely use English, okay, so they cannot think it in English to explain to them. So this is the problem, the large problem for them. And then after that, I asked them the way how to solve the problem, that they solve the problems, okay, of when they communicate with the foreign guests. And then they mentioned that, okay, the way to solve that they use most is that they ask the foreigners to speak slowly, right? Please speak slowly, something like that. And then followed by ask them to speak again, to repeat. Okay, again, please, something like that. And then number three, they try to pay attention when they listen to the foreigners, okay, to concentrate on that. And the last one, this is a thing that I think that is very important. They can improve their listening, right? They practice listening from the internet, right? Because they don't have much more time to attend the training workshop, something like that. That's why they study by their own. Okay, this is the way, right, that they want to solve the problems. Also, go to my conclusion, right? From the study, right? This study is carried out in order to provide an insight into the English communication strategy employed by the hotel, the problems and the way to solve the problem in Buriram province when they communicate with the foreigners. And then I believe that this study might be as a guideline for organizing the training course for the hotel staff, okay, who work in the hotel in Buriram, okay, by using English, okay, and help them to improve their quality, okay, of services in terms of the English language, okay, and then it can be useful, okay, for the person or for the policymaker or for the person who take care of the hospitality, especially the hotel in Buriram province, to set up the policy and plan, okay, in order to to have a clearer understanding of English needs, okay, and then it can be very useful for the school or the college or the university student who plan to work in the hotel business or over Thailand. As you can see that there are many tourist attractions in Thailand, especially in the north of Thailand, in the capital, or Pattaya or Phuket. And I think that Phuket is very important and very famous among the foreigners around the world. Maybe in that time, okay, our country, okay, closed because of COVID-19 pandemic. But I do believe that, okay, next year it will be better. And I do hope that I will go, okay, to visit Ambon again, because I get impressed with Ambon, especially for Patimura University. Very nice place, okay, very nice person there. Okay, hope to be there, okay, sometime in the future. Okay, thank you very much for your listening, right? Okay, any more question we will welcome, right, for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Namalmin. A very interesting topic. And it's a good idea that you have brought to this seminar. Yeah, because Thailand is famous for tourism industry, and probably in Ambon we can use the same things like you did to know the English proficiency of our hotel staff in Ambon. To all the participants, do you have any questions to Professor Nawami? Please ask. Do not hesitate. Do not shy. Please, this is a very interesting topic, especially those from English department. Yeah, you can get the idea. Okay, if you have a questions, just turn on your speaker and you can directly ask Mr. Nawami.
Can I ask you first? Right, maybe ask someone or maybe Jenny about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have some problems about the communication between the hospitality person or hotel staff with the foreign tourists in Indonesia, especially in Ambon?
I'm not quite sure about that, but as far as I know, maybe there is. But if I'm not mistaken, in Ambon, for example, there are our alumni from English department. They work in like Swiss Bell Hotel, okay, 4-star, 5 stars hotel in Ambon. So probably there is problem with the communication, but maybe they can handle. But in other islands or regency, I believe there is, and there are many.
Because
okay.
Sometimes when we communicate, the language, okay, cannot deliver, or maybe the culture. Sometimes, right, we communicate with them with the English language, but we have to learn about their culture as well, right? That I'm interested in, right?
Agree, Mr. Nawami. Okay. Nobody wants to ask question, please. This is the time for you to ask question. Ask more, and you have to explore.
Ma'am.
Okay. We have one participant wants to ask question, and because we are limited of time, this is only one questions. Okay.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I have one question. This is about the strategy and English communication strategy applied the hotel staff member. So my question is, now in Indonesia is so much hotel, the member staff and hotel must know about English language. So I want to ask you, what the good strategy to make them to know about, to learn or to know about English language? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nawami.
Okay. Actually, okay, for the hotel staff, I'm not sure that I can catch your question or not, because the signal is quite clear. Okay, can you repeat again? Because the Wi-Fi is not good.
Yes.
Firman,
Yes, ma'am.
slowly. Speak slowly. So Mr. Nawami can hear you clearly.
Yes. Thank you. I repeat my question. In my question, this is topic about English communication strategy employed by the hotel staff member. So because I want to asking this, for example, in Ambon City, so many hotel. So someone is visitor come in Ambon City. So the staff member must to know about English language, but a lot of much hotel is the staff is don't know about English language. So I want to asking what the good strategy to make them to know about or to want to know about English language. Thank you.
Okay. I think it's just similar, right? In both Ambon and Buriram, but you know that Buriram is quite new for the foreigners to come, and then we face the problems, okay, of using English for communication. But if we know about this one, For example, if we know about English communication strategy that they employ, we can help them, especially for our university, can help them to set about the training course, okay, for them, right?
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, Firman, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think the time for Mr. Nawamin presentation is time is up. And if you have questions regarding the presentation from Mr. Nawamin, you can send your question to me or to the committee, and we will pass the questions to Mr. Nawamin, and he will be happy to answer your question. Thank you very much. Probably before we move to the second presenter, okay, maybe we will have okay, I have screenshot the screen. Okay, so now we are moving to the second presenters for our session. The second presenter will be Fanuel Kailuhu and James Salmon Hukom. They are from English Department, Patimura University. For today's seminar, they will present their research entitled Developing Reading Materials Based on Tourism Spots for Junior High School Students, Patimura University, Faculty of Teacher Training and Educational Sciences. So, Mr. Kailuhu and Mr. Hukom, you have 15 minutes, 10 minutes to do the presentation and 5 minutes for question and answer sessions. And you may begin now. Sorry, Mr. James, we cannot hear your voice. Can you all hear Mr. James' voice?
No.
Not yet, ma'am.
No, sir. No, sir. Mr. James, can you reset?
Hello.
You are still mute. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, man, for the chance given to me and Mr. James. So now we're going to present our research about developing reading material. So let me share the screen, ma'am, to all of you. Okay, can you all see the screen? Okay.
I can see it.
Okay. Okay, so first, because of the time limitation, so I will just so for the background itself, I could just conclude why do I have to make reading materials, especially the teaching materials, especially the reading materials themselves. So based on Arias, Mukundun Sarifi Kalajahi, and also Tomlinson, so they stated that reading materials is something that cannot be abandoned, especially for teachers and also for lecturers. So we cannot abandon that thing. So also stated by Tomlinson that reading materials could be in form of videos, it could be in forms of the course book, it also could be in forms of videos and websites itself. So for this part, I try to develop a reading materials or a course book. Okay, next one, why local content? So there are several reasons here why local contents. And to make it short, I will focus on the last point over here. So the first and the last point over here, if you all can see. So by using local content, not only can promote and develop the culture, but by using local content can also increase students' nationalism, as stated by Prastiwi 2013. Okay, and the last point over here of why local content, it also stated in the regulation of Undang-Undang Dasar 1945, verse 32, chapter 1, the country promotes Indonesian national culture at the center of world civilization by guaranteeing the freedom of the people and persevering and promoting their cultural values. So yes, it is. Even the country itself um, regulates the people that we have to be able to promoting Indonesian national culture in this place, in this case, especially Maluku's culture, at the center of world civilizations, because we are in the world civilization right now, in the global world. So that's why we have to we have to be able to compete with other countries as well. And next one is about the research purpose. So the purpose of conducting this research is to develop innovative reading materials based on tourism spots in Maluku, which hope to be useful and effective for students in learning activities. So next one is the method. Okay, so the method used in this research is R&D, or research and development method. And as stated by Hall, that the terms R&D, or research and development, describe about the activities undertaken by a researcher in order to create new or improved products and processes. So this is the research procedure as stated by Burke and Hall, 1983. So the first step is research and information collecting, until the last step is dissemination and implementation. So there are several steps to it that we have to do in order to make a newly developed reading materials. So we have to do first with the observations, and then find the information that we can get from the observation itself. And then we started to do also by doing the preliminary form of product, and then with the small group tryout, and then also big group tryout. And the last one that is also very important is the validation itself. So these are the technique of collecting the data, which are questionnaire and post-test. And the technique of data analysis, the researcher uses percentage and descriptive to analyze the data. The percentage is used to see the percentage is used to see the amount of the information from the questionnaires that have been shared to the students. So after this, I will also show the example of the questionnaire itself. Okay, so these are findings and discussions. So the research was conducted in SMP Negeri 9 Ambon in eighth grade, especially in 812 class, with 33 students as the participants. Okay, so the preliminary field testing was first conducted on 3 December 2019 by spreading the questionnaires for students need and teachers need analysis after revising with the first and the second mentors. So this is the example of the questionnaire itself for the students need analysis. And then the preliminary field testing, which is for small group tryout that consists of 3 students for the small group. And these are some of the examples of the students' comments for this one. So for example, I will read one of them. So one of the students say that the picture is very beautiful because of the bright color. The text is also very good and easy to understand because the vocabulary has been provided. So I will also show the example of the reading materials, of my reading materials, of the researcher reading materials. Okay, and then, as I say before, this is also really important, which is the expert validation. So the expert validation was done by 2 experts in this case. Which are Dr. Sofia Binendik, MPD, and Dr. Teresia Soisa, SPD, MPD. And they are also the lecturers in English Education Study Program. And this is the example of the expert validation, if you all can see over here. And I will point out over here for the formula of finding the final result over here. So if you can see the total score of the result divided with total maximum score and then multiplied with 100%. And at the end, the final result, I got 91.66%. So this is just one of the example. And then for the operational field tryout for big group, which are consists of 33 students. And over here, we can see this is the result of the post-test result. So there are 5 students who got good score. Okay, so this is the explanation over here. The result in the post-test shows that the score with the range between 70 until 79 is good. And the score between 80 until 89 is very good. And the score between 90 until 100 is excellent. Okay. Okay, and these are some of the comments from the students in the big group tryout for 33 students. I will not provide all of their comments, but I will just read one of them. And one of them is, for example, like, I really like the text because it makes us to feel like we were in the story. The exercise and the game are really fun, especially the listening and the speaking part. Okay, so this is the conclusions. So after doing all the research procedure from observation and then collecting the data, start to do the what is it? The preliminary study, the form product, and then the researcher do the small group tryout, and then do the validations, and after that, do the big group tryout, and finally do the post test. Then the researcher conclude that the new developed reading material can be disseminated, and his reading material result as new, innovative, and well-developed reading material based on tourism spots in Maluku. Okay, so these are some suggestions that I would like to tell for everyone. So for the teacher, this new developed reading material is hoped to be useful for the English teacher, especially for the teacher of junior high school students, to teach the students. And then for the students themselves, this new developed reading material is hoped to be very useful too for the students in order to help them relate with their background knowledge and also help them to understand the materials. So what it means by the relate with their background knowledge itself, because when we talk about developing reading material based on tourism spots in Maluku, some of the places that I use for my reading materials are some of the places that the students have been there before. So it can be relate with their background knowledge, and it can also help them to understand the text better. And the last one is for the further researcher. So I would like to highlight this for my seniors in the English education study programs, or also for other students who would like to develop the same type of research as well for the research and development. So this new developed material is hoped to be one of the inspiration for other researchers in the future who are going to do their research about material development. So the researcher hope this paper can be useful for the reading source. Okay, so now I will show some of the examples of my reading materials. So this is the cover, as you can see over here. And these are the 4 units of my newly developed reading materials. Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 4. Okay, ma'am. And I will just show, because of the time, I will just show one of the example for Unit 1. So there are 8 activities, which are also including a picture observation, and then reading. We also have writing, speaking, and then listening. So I included all the 4 main skills in my reading material as well. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Fanuel and Mr. Hukom for the presentations. Unfortunately, Mr. Hukom had a problem with his microphones, but that's okay. So now is question and answer sessions. You have 5 minutes. Okay, anyone wants to ask questions from the presenters, please? can turn on your speaker and mention your name and pop the questions. Or maybe because it's too late. And okay, so if you have no questions, but do you want to ask, but you are too afraid to ask, okay, Mr. James and Mr. Fanuel are here in Ambon, so you can, yeah, go meet them and ask the questions if you have questions. Okay, thank you, Mr. Fanuel and Mr. James.
Thank you,
Very
ma'am.
much again. Welcome.
Yep. Now we are going to the last presenters for today's seminars. Before we begin, I would like to remind you, please, all the participants, don't forget to take attendance form. We have shared the link. You just click the link and then you fill in the form. Okay. And now we move to the last presenter. Okay, our presenter for the last section today is Mrs. Nurlaila Tuanani and Mrs. Febi W. Pelupesi. Sorry, at the beginning I mentioned their institutions was not correct. They are from Institut Agama Kristen Negeri Ambon, and the topic that they will present today, this afternoon, is the implementations of blended learning strategy for English teaching learning activity using Edmundo feature during pandemic COVID-19 in SMA Negeri 1 Kairatu. Okay, for Mrs. Nurlaila and her friend, Mrs. Phoebe, 10 minutes for the presentations and 5 minutes for question and answer session. You may begin now.
Okay, first of all, good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity given for Laila and I. We are going to present our paper entitled The Implementation of Blended Learning Strategy for English Teaching Learning Activity using Edmodo Fitter in SMA Negeri 11 Kairatu during the pandemic. So, those are the presentation points. We are going to begin with background of the study and then theoretical review, methodology, findings and discussion, and also the conclusion of the paper. Okay, first of all, I would like to describe the background of our paper. So as you know that today the government policy is we will, for the education system, is that we will have online class. We are conducting online class because of the pandemic. So the government see that the online class will decrease the coronavirus cases. However, conducting a full online class is not an easy process. Based on our observation in SMA Negeri 11 Kairatu, the teacher, especially the English teacher, finds the difficulty in conducting a full online meeting because the students doesn't really participate well during the activity. And also the students find it difficult to follow some difficult material because they do not have any extra explanation from the teacher. That is why we come up with two research problems. The first one is how is the implementation of blended learning strategy in English teaching process in SMA Negeri 11 Kairatu, and how is the use of Edmodo application in teaching learning process in SMA Negeri 11 Kairatu. So these are our literature review. So for our topic, we review 3 major related studies which focused either on the use of blended learning or the use of Edmodo. Based on our discussion, 3 of the literary review only focused on they do not pay attention on the use of blended learning or Edmodo during the pandemic, because all of the related studies were conducted way before the pandemic era. What makes our paper different from those papers are there because we focused on the use of blended learning, especially the use of Edmodo during the pandemic era. So we would like to see the strength and also the weakness of Edmodo, and also the strength of the weakness from blended learning activity. So those are our theoretical framework that we use to answer the research problems. There are 4 theoretical framework: blended learning, Edmodo, e-learning, and the last one is students' English score. So I will not go deeper to each theory because I think that we are quite familiar with the theory.
Well, thank you very much, Eddie. I would like to continue explain about our topic, that is findings and discussion. Now we go to findings and discussion. There are some findings and discussion that we have in our paper. The first one is based on the data collected. There are some findings that we got. The first one is the English teacher applied blended learning strategy as the solution to maximize the teaching learning process during the pandemic. Okay, as we know that the government policy, they proposed the online class during this pandemic to the teacher in the kindergarten school till the university students. Based on the interview done by the writers, the English teachers finds it difficult in creating an effective meeting during the pandemic. During the pandemic, the teacher needs to have a full online meeting with the students, but the teacher can only use WhatsApp as the teaching media because this application is most familiar for the students. On the other hand, the use of WhatsApp does not really help the students in the class. So the teacher tried to implement Edmodo as one of the application in online class. Okay, and then there are based on the interview with the teacher, she said that blended learning strategy is suitable to be applied during the pandemic because it helps her to better my students' understanding, especially for the difficult material. Her students enjoy an online class, especially with Edmodo application, since online class gives a new learning experience for them. However, have an offline class really helps to her to check that her students can really comprehend the materials well. And then the next finding is the teacher and students' perception in using Edmodo. The first one is Edmodo is very useful application in teaching English during this pandemic. Well, Edmodo, as we know that Edmodo is an application that we can use to manage our online teaching learning process, and it's easy to use not only by the teacher but also by the students. Okay, and a student said that using Edmodo, it helps me a lot in understanding the material given by the teacher. I also can read the materials whenever I need it, and I think it's better than using whiteboard in the classroom. So the students really enjoyed learning English using Edmodo. And then the second one is Edmodo assists or helps in controlling students' learning activity. All features in Edmodo can help the teacher to explain, to manage the class very well during the online activity. And then the third one is Edmodo is very flexible to use because it can be accessed anytime and anywhere as long as the students and the teacher have mobile data. And then the last one is Edmodo provides auto grading system. So it really helps the teacher to grade everything during the teaching learning process. In this case, English teaching learning process. Okay, and we come to the discussion. So based on our, conclusion, based on the findings and result, the English teacher in SMA Negeri 11 Kairatu applied blended learning strategy to respond to the problem of teaching learning process during the pandemic situation. And then there are some advantages of using Edmodo based on the students and teachers' perception. The first one is it's very useful application in teaching English during the pandemic. Beside any others application that you can use in online class. And then number two is it helps in controlling students' learning activity, and then it provides auto grading system, and it really helps the teacher to assess the students' work. And then the last one is very flexible because it can be accessed anytime and anywhere. Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation, Ibu. Yes. Thank you very much for Ibu Nurlaila and Phoebe for the presentations about blended learning. Yes, this is a pandemic, and that is why online learning is needed. And sometimes it's very tiring. Okay. Any questions? Anyone wants to ask question for the presenters? Okay. Okay, from Rahmat Adi Cahya. We have a question from Rahmat Adi Cahya. He asks what Edmodo looks like and what is the best feature. What is the best feature to make so many students like and enjoy learning in Edmodo? So, Ibu, can you show if you have a picture of Edmodo and probably the feature in that applications that make students interest to learn.
So first of all, we would like to say sorry because we forgot to put the Edmodo pictures so that the other presenter and participant can see what Edmodo looks like. But there are some steps in using Edmodo which makes it different from the other online applications such as Zoom or Google Classroom or etc. So when we use Edmodo, the first step is we need to, just like the other application, the teacher and students need to sign up, and then the teacher need to sign up, and then the students need to register so that they can enter the application and then post base. And after that, they will have a kind of room for discussion, something like that. And then there are a feature that the students need to do when it comes to assignments, something like that. So they will have different room for discussion and also for the assignments. And then the students will also enjoy a feature for quiz. So if the teacher wants to put, let's say, homework or project, they will have different feature with the quiz feature, something like that. So each project will have their own their own feature in Edmodo. And then the teacher can also divide the students into some group if they want to, let's say, have small group discussion, something like that. And also they can also give feedback during the class, written or directly to the other students or the teacher. Do you want to add something?
Well, actually, it looks like, or it's similar with Google Classroom. Yeah, because this is one of learning system or learning platform that everyone can use in their online class. So I think if you want to see more detail about Modo, you can download on Google's Play Store, so you can see more detail about the application of Modo. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The very last questions, because it's now very late. A very last questions. My James asks, can we use Edmodo to teach for skills? Any weaknesses of this platform to teach for skills? So the question is, can Edmodo be used to teach for skills, Ibu? And what are the weaknesses of Edmodo itself?
Okay, so based on our observation, actually, this application can use to teach all of the skills. However, the teacher find it difficult to teach, especially the speaking skill, because it deals with the connection, the Wi-Fi connection, or the mobile data, something like that. That is why, in order to overcome the speaking skill difficulty, the teacher then applied blended learning. So usually they will have discussion directly in the classroom because, yeah, as I have mentioned before, that the weakness from Edmodo is in teaching speaking because it deals with the internet connection. But for reading or writing and also the listening, the teacher informed us that she doesn't have any problem in teaching those three skills compared to the speaking one. That is why in order to solve the speaking problem, then they will have blended learning activity. They will have face-to-face meeting in the classroom.
Okay, thank you very much. If there is no questions given, or if you have questions, but you are reluctant to ask now, you can give your question directly to the committee and we will forward your questions to the presenter. Okay, the presentation from Ibu Nurlaila and Ibu Febi concludes our seminar sessions for today. We are very thank you for all of you to participate and to stay with us until now. It's very late now. It's night from the afternoon. And we just want to inform you that if you're still interested to join this seminar, the seminar will be continued tomorrow and you can see the schedules of the presentations that will be held tomorrow in Pusat Studi Bahasa Facebook. So there you can find the program book, and in that program book, we have enclosed the schedules and the abstracts. So thank you very much once again. Thank you for staying with us, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You can turn on your speaker now.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye,
Bye
ma'am.
bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Keep healthy.